All right. Welcome to this masterclass, how to use Instagram as a real estate agent. Now, as a real estate agent, it is no different than any other type of business. All right, you need to develop your brand by one guiding factor. That is offering tremendous value. All right. And the way that you offer tremendous value is by identifying and understanding your target audience, your target demographic. So if you've been in the industry for a long time, you understand the types of people that you work with day in and day out. If you sat down, you could think of a list of things that these people would find valuable. You know, and it's like not just buyers, sellers, investors, but specifics. First-time home buyers, what age range, what ethnicity even you work with, what types of people that you work with all the time, what are their needs, what are their questions, and who really are they? This is the first step to really understanding and identifying your target demographic, your target audience. Once you build this and you have a foundation to work off of and a way to extract value and create content from that. Instagram is like any other landing page. And if you don't know, a landing page is just a web page that people find on the internet that should provide value. A good landing page provides value immediately. So in this talk, we're going to go literally from top of Instagram, your profile image, all the way down through your posts, how to structure it, in my opinion, and that matches a business profile and a correct landing page. So with that said, my name is Jordan Dubois. I have co-founded Reflecting Walls Real Estate Photography in 2014 with Austin, and we literally started with one agent, my mother, and now we service over 10,000 agents in between Arizona and Illinois. I think we are the best real estate photography company, and we're definitely one of the largest in Arizona, and soon to be the largest in Illinois because VHC is out of the way, baby. So, all right, you provide tremendous value. Now, everybody is in a different stage of their journey. They don't know you, unless you're a famous person like Ryan Serrant, Alex Hormozy, any of those gurus, they don't know you. You are a nobody to the general population of people that are looking possibly for a realtor. All right, so they go through a journey, and that journey can be defined as a funnel of visually. So you can make the stages of the funnel or the stages of the client journey, you can break it down as granular as you want, but I like to keep it in 4 stages, and I remind myself what the stages are through a mnemonic A, C, D, C. ACDC. This is awareness, consideration, decision, and champion. So, and again, if I'm going too fast, you can watch this as many times as you like. So feel free to pause it, rewind it, and we will have a free guide. So you can get that by signing up. I'm going to keep it up for 24 hours after this. And if it goes away, just DM me on Instagram. Make sure you're following me on Instagram, jordan.reflectingwalls, and I will send you the guide that way. All right, so ACDC funnel, awareness, consideration, decision, champion. What does this have to do with value and content creation and everything on Instagram and basically everything in general, how you structure everything with a business model? Well, it's shaped like a funnel because this is going to be the largest portion of people that are going to see your content or be in this stage. Then it gets smaller and smaller and smaller and so forth. So the awareness stage, it's people that they might not even know they want to buy or sell. They might just be browsing Instagram and just switching through things, and then you pop up. And we'll talk about how you pop up to people who are not looking for real estate later on. So definitely watch this whole thing all the way through. This is the awareness stage. It's a stage where you don't try and sell people something, you just try and provide value. Free value, you don't ask for their information, you don't ask for anything like, hey, this and that, you just provide free value. And this is a stage that marketers consider in a very important stage, and a stage that you need to achieve around 10 to 12 times, meaning like you show up in front of people 10 to 12 times. They call it touches in marketing. So you can do, postcards, but any type of ads on Instagram. If you're popping up 10 to 12 times with value, that's also an important thing, because if you don't provide value, they're gonna be like, skip, next, don't show this ever to me again, and you're gonna be gone. That's it. So make sure you're providing value. Again, you have to know your target audience to provide the value, appropriate things, and what to say. So in the awareness stage, that is going to be how you hook them. 10 to 12 times of showing up there, or however you want to, as far as postcards, whatever, 10 to 12 times. And in psychology, this is actually known as the mirror effect. And it is a well-researched phenomenon. People start to relate truth and fact, even if it's not, with something they are constantly exposed to. I mean, this is how brainwashing happens. And I'm not saying you're gonna brainwash people, but this is what you wanna do. And if you provide value, then this is going to be extremely strong. This is how you provide the best value. Okay, the mirror effect, showing up multiple times into this stage. Now, when someone in this stage is starting to think, okay, you know what? I need to buy and sell a house. I want to find a good realtor. I don't know anybody. Before they do any searches, if you're constantly showing up in their feed, they're going to associate you with that realtor. Don't you think so? So this is a very important stage. Now, how you move them down to consideration is simply just showing up multiple times. All right? And then you could have a couple posts that, you have call to actions that say, follow me or whatever, but if people like what you have to say, they're going to follow you regardless. They're just going to click that button, follow you. So the next stage is consideration. So I don't want to spend time doing things that are a waste of time. I want to be extremely succinct as much as possible, but I will write this out. Awareness, consideration, decision, and champion. In the consideration stage, they're thinking, okay, I want to buy and sell real estate. They're getting more serious. They're looking for someone. This is also when lead magnets are super helpful. So having someone sign up, they've seen you 10 to 12 times, they like you a little more and know you a little more and feel more comfortable with you than when they first see you and you're a nobody. Showing up in their feed, some weird tattooed guy, they're like, who is this weirdo? But then you keep showing up and you keep providing value and they're like, oh, maybe he's onto something. Okay, I'm gonna sign up. Realtors, same exact thing. So this consideration stage is when you create your content that has stronger calls to action. Hey, follow me for more advice on this. Hey, I DM this term, and then you hook it up to an automation, like DM me guide, and then it'll send them an automation. Or it'll send them a guide through an automation. And we're gonna get into that later in the stack that I recommend. It's also in the guide, the free guide that we provide. So don't worry about writing anything down, like I said earlier. Now the decision phase, they're gonna choose somebody. They're gonna choose, hopefully, you. And the way that you strengthen your chance and your probability of converting them to an actual client, because at the end of the day, what is all this for? If not for providing tremendous value and then closing deals. We're not on Instagram as a business, not me anyways, to chase vanity metrics, to chase views, to chase likes and clicks. This isn't high school. Who cares about all that crap if it doesn't lead to closed deals, to relationships that are very beneficial for your business, all right? So they make the decision by looking at your content. They're gonna be more inclined now to go through your profile and look at the stuff you post. Look at the stuff that you are providing clients. And now, this is where I have a problem with these other automations that people are buying monthly. I don't care if it's $5 a month for an automation that will post to your Instagram for you about 3 types of flowers or a good pizza recipe. Are you a chef? No, you are a realtor. And people can ask AI to generate any kind of recipe that is superior. So in my opinion, I'm just one guy. I think that is trash, and I think people are wasting their money when they do that, and that is destroying their brand. Remember, providing value to your target audience. So when people go through and they've actually added you on Instagram and they go through your profile and they're like, wow, there's all these weird posts about BS, about nothing. This is not relevant. Maybe I'm gonna look for someone else. And then they see a realtor who has absolutely stunning house tours, videos, behind the scenes, everything that builds their brand. Okay, who would you choose? If you see someone you wanted a service from, would you choose person A with this generic garbage, or person B who has a strategy and carefully curated brand? I'm choosing person B, and I think you would too. So, boom, they see your profile, they're hooked. They're like, all right, I need to book a meeting. It's not over yet. Then that's when you crush it in the listing presentation, and you can pull up your Instagram and see, hey, look at this stuff. Yeah, we're gonna list your house. I do all this stuff for you. This is not only for my brand, but this really helps draw attention to your property, because at the end of the day, we want the highest number of views on your house possible. We want everyone from out of state. We want everyone looking at your property. That's how we get the highest and best offer. That's how we make the most. Yeah, I could list your property with photos and it might sell, but did it sell for the highest and the best? Did I offer the best value? That's how you demonstrate that. That's how you close the deal. And actually, we did a randomized study. So, okay, real quick tangent. I have a degree in biology and applied mathematics. So literally my hobby is research. So when I say randomized study, randomized survey and things, I do that to try and get a higher level of accuracy for the answers. So with that tangent out of the way, in Arizona, we conducted a randomized study of realtors. I think there were over 80 realtors that answered. 2 out of 3 of them, so literally 66% of these agents said they either lost or won a listing presentation based on their social media. Like, that is crazy. I didn't even believe that. Like, I knew social media was important for other reasons that we'll get into, but this statistic just hammered it into my mind. No longer do I need to be any kind of salesman and say, hey, realtors, you should buy a video. Because now the clients demand it. They are saying, hey, listen, we saw all these Instagram videos and all these Facebook videos from these other listings. We want that for our house. They get excited. And that is the reason you're in business, to offer value. So, I mean, video is like, it's not an option anymore. If you want to stay in this game long term, this is what you need to do. This is how you provide value. And good news is, a lot of agents, I mean, there's statistics out there that are highly contentious, like how many listings that agents sold last year. I saw one that was like 70% of agents sold like one house or something, whatever. And NAR published a statistic in 2023. On average, so the middle number is 10 homes. So a realtor is buying and selling, so 10 transactions. All right, so the competition, if you really want to dominate the competition and win more listing presentations and get more views and become a top agent, in my opinion, it's not that hard. It is very attainable with this strategy of providing tremendous value. So as long as you can provide tremendous value, you're going to be set. You're going to hook them, and that's how they become the champion of your brand, the next stage, okay? I'm not saying realtors that just provide photos are not worth it and not going to be busy, because that's not true. You can see tons of realtors that break this mold. They provide a lot of photos, only photos. They don't provide floor plans, nothing, no video. They're not even on Instagram, but they're doing like 20, 30 transactions. How is that possible? A lot of different factors. But the more we move forward in the Instagram age, and what my study revealed, the more people are going to demand this. When you have competition that is doing something that you are not doing, that is the point at which your strategy dies. That is the point at which your competition takes over and takes the business from you. So the old stuff that was working, not so much anymore. All right, so that's very important to remember. If you want a strong brand, I'm not in this for the weekend warriors who are like, I just want, 1 or 2 listings. No, I'm in this for the realtors that want to totally dominate their competition and be the local area expert. All right, that's what I'm excited for. So that's how you make your client go from not even knowing you through all the stages of the funnel to champion stage. And this all ties in to Instagram because all the content must be curated for these specific stages for your target audience. I'm gonna say that a bunch of times because that is literally the guiding factor, the foundation of what you should be focusing on. So now let's talk about your profile. From top to bottom, there's a lot of different stages of people that are going to be watching this. They might not even have an Instagram yet, but the first things first, you need to have an Instagram for business. That is absolutely mandatory because you're gonna have statistics that you can use, you're gonna have automations and actions that will be available to you through Meta Business Suite, and you can schedule posts and a bunch of different things that really are important to a brand, all right? And if you're one of those people that posts a bunch of very polarizing stuff, politics, all this stuff, and it's on your personal, I would not mix that with your business. I would just shut that down because at the end of the day, do you want to make money or do you want to just have your opinion floating out there? Who cares about your opinion? Let's make some money, all right? So get a business profile, set it up, how we're gonna set it up, and you're gonna succeed. So you have your business profile, and this is very basic, but people mess this up all the time. When you have a business profile and you have your profile image and it's of something that is not even brand related. It's like a picture of a cactus or a picture of just like your dog. If you're a dog lover, that's great. Why don't you have your dog in it with you or something? But you are your brand. And remember, the main focus is your brand. So if you want people to remember your dog, sure. If you want people to remember you, put your face on there. Professional headshot, that's what should be right there. Next, what are people gonna see? They're gonna see your title. Again, this is so basic, but people mess this up and they don't do it so many times. Put your name, put realtor, put something that distinguishes what you do, who you are, even your location, as many things as you can fit in there to provide value, all right? Next, your bio. Your bio has a limited number of characters, and so you need to put, again, something super powerful, super differentiating. Like when people see that, they're gonna scan your profile quickly. Oh, buy, sell real estate. That's a good first step. Buying and selling, at least it says that you are a real estate agent, okay? But what about something like over 800 transactions in 60067? That's something that calls out where you work, your location, and something super powerful. Negotiated over $2 million in commercial real estate for first-time commercial buyers, multifamily investor in Des Plaines, whatever that will differentiate you from your competition. That's, in my opinion, extremely important. And like I said, you have limited characters, so you need to use that space wisely. After that, your contact information, you need to put where you work as well, but your contact information, and then you can include something like DM me guide for free multifamily guide or whatever your target audience is, and then hook that up. You can use something like ManyChat, or if you have a developer like me, we create custom automations for realtors. You can hook it up to where someone sends you a DM guide, and then you send them automatically in an email like, hey, thanks for checking this out, here's your free guide. But they go through a process to give you contact information, and that's a lead magnet, all right? That's gonna be someone who's most likely gonna be in this consideration or decision phase. So next in your bio, you can have 2 links. I believe it's 2 links. So I have a digital business card and my website. Now, if you don't know what a digital business card is, it's literally like what it sounds like. It is a digital version of your business card, another web page, landing page, whatever you want to call it, that has all of your information on it. It has a longer bio, and it has all the links. So if you are an avid user of Zillow, I know a lot of realtors hate Zillow. If you use it, it's another way to show up. You can have a link to Zillow, you can have a link to all your socials on there, all your contact info, and then arguably most importantly, there's a button anyways on the digital business cards that we provide through our website. There's a button that people can click, download all your info directly to their phone. And there's a QR code that we've included. So if you need a digital business card, we have these free for our clients. If you've spent money with us, you have access to your free digital business card. You can set that up on our website or reach out to me personally, I'll set it up for you. Now you can use that for literally, you hook it up with a business card, and we sell these as well, but you don't have to get them from us, a metal business card. It has your QR code, has NFC chip, and now when you meet someone in person, in real life, hey, check out, here's my info, scan it, and then they've got it. And the cool thing about this is my name is most likely not going to change. So I've engraved it. But other things change. People have different brokerages, people have different phone numbers, emails, websites, etc. You don't need to reprint after you have a digital business card. You simply refill out the information online and then it regenerates. So you have your metal card and you can scan it out. And every single time, like I've gone to networking events, I pull that out, people are amazed. So it creates a good and lasting impression. And what is the point of all this? To create lasting impressions of value for target audience, right? All right. So that's the digital business card. That is the last part of your portfolio. You have two links as from the time of this talk anyways, two links you can put in there. So that's how you capitalize it. That's how you can connect all your social media accounts and all your contact information to your Instagram. So moving on, after the bio, you've got all that optimized. You have a highlight section. Now, personally, I didn't use this for a long time, and I don't even look through them for most Instagram profiles I go on. But there is a hurdle with these highlights. You have to post stuff to your stories, then you can use those and post them as highlights. It's not a huge hurdle, but if you're just starting and you have no presence on Instagram, it can be kind of tedious to post, to wait, and this and that. So we created an automation that you put all the images or videos in a folder, then you run this automation, it sends all these images or videos to your story, it automatically deletes them. So say you have a couple hundred people that follow you and you don't want them to see these videos or images, you just want them to go into client testimonials and stuff like that or whatever, and then you want to post one or two so you don't flood their story basically. And then it automatically posts it to the highlight that you want. So we can also do that. We build these, talk to me if you need that. But your highlights are another area to provide value. That's it. So client wins, testimonials, behind the scenes, but as long as it, in my opinion, as long as it relates to your business. You know, like you could show yourself even in the gym, working out, like keeping my body strong, keeping my mind strong, so that way I can be the best negotiator. Like that's how you tie fitness, as an example, to your business and just become the best known. All right, so we've got the profile image, your title, your bio, highlights, now the post grid. So before we talk about the actual content strategy, let's really quickly hit on the posts and the reels. Like what is the difference? Because a lot of people get confused with this. As far as I understand, posts and reels are similar when it comes to video. So if you post a video as a post, it will become a reel. And the reels get shown, they are more so to push out to new people in the explore tabs and the search feeds and stuff like that. The posts, they show up on people's feeds that follow you, and they are for client nurturing. So the reels can be used more for client generation, lead generation, and then the posts can be for client nurturing. But if you're posting videos to your posts, it goes to the reels anyways. I wouldn't even worry too much about that. But when you post carousels, which are a type of post that are multi-images, and they take people through a process, or they can show off a portfolio. I use them personally for really nice shoots that I do, and they just demonstrate the value that you offer. It's one way to demonstrate the value. But the reels and posts, you want to focus on video content. That content that is video is like demonstrated to be the far superior one. And think about yourself. there are some single image posts that I have seen that are absolute bangers. They're so good at relating something, and most of them are memes though. Most of them are super funny, and so for business, I mean, that's gonna be hard. So I think you should focus on video as the bulk majority of your posts on Instagram anyways. And the way that you determine what kind of content you need to post will be, again, just going back to what we've been talking about, how you provide value. So if you can't sit down and brainstorm, like 50 or 100 topics of your your frequently asked questions, the situations that you go through day to day with your demographic, your buyers and sellers and whoever you work with, and different types of relatable content, just go to Gemini. Gemini is hooked up to Google. Google search is where all of my research is done. When you run ads on Google, you have access to their keyword planner, and it tells you all of the search volume for all of the keywords you want to know that are related to real estate, all the people ask section, where it just literally gives you a list of questions that you could answer. I made a video on my Instagram about this, an advanced marketing for realtors video, so go on there and watch that, but it's basically that. You go to Gemini, it's hooked up to Google, so I think it would feed more so into people also ask questions and give you a huge list of topics that you can use to create videos. These are what are called talking head videos. And the reason they're good is because they are your brand. They answer a question that someone had who is in your target audience, and they'll probably get people to follow you because you're knowledgeable. They demonstrate knowledge. So they are a great place to start. Even if you have no buyers or sellers, you can create a ton of content from this. Now, I know what you're probably thinking. Well, okay, I've got a bunch of ideas, but I don't have time to do this. I don't have money to do this. How do I do this? Okay, if you have no clients, you have time. All right? Hate to break it to you, but you have a lot of time. And if you think you have no time, you probably don't manage your time well. And you need to figure out a structure to where you are doing this. Because if you want this to be a priority, you make time for things you have as priorities. All right, so you need to get your priorities in order. But even if you have only 30 minutes or an hour a day, you can still do this. And these talking head videos are very powerful. Now you can use the talking head videos to answer questions for all your target demographic in the journey that they're in, and market updates. Now, one really powerful thing, Google, and more and more people are searching using AI, but the things that pop up in AI are similar to what will pop up on Google, on the homepage, the first page of Google when you search something. Google pulls now from Instagram. I think it's actually since 2025. They updated their algorithm and they said, we will start pulling from Instagram. You can even check this out, type in, real estate news near me in your area, and if no Instagram videos or YouTube videos or any videos pop up, that is fantastic news, because that is a huge opportunity for you to take over that. And you can find, again, using Google Ads, you can talk to us when we create strategies for realtors. We do all this research for them and see how many people, if there's 20, 50, 100 searches a month for housing market news in my zip code, or whatever the terms are, then you should be making these videos. I know in Arizona, they are absolutely blowing up. Like, it's just literally a talking head, a person, and then you've got background of what's going on, and it makes you look like the absolute expert. And this is where I'm gonna start talking about AI. Now, even if you don't have the time to create the content, to get dressed up, to go into a studio, or the money, because in Arizona, we have a studio session you can book. You get 5 videos and it's $900. Who's using that? Are luxury agents. They don't care about the price. They just want the absolute best quality, and they don't want to clone themselves. So that's for them. But for the average agent who doesn't have that kind of money or doesn't want to spend that yet, then AI clones, as long as it's done right, can be helpful. And a lot of these videos that are popping up in Google are AI clones. Some of them sound horrific, and that is going to destroy your brand. So there are ways and software that you can get like 80 to 90% realism from what you look like. With me, it's hard because I'm so animated, because I'm Italian. So I move my hands around when I talk and I gesture a lot, and the AI clones don't really keep up with that very well. There are things like Kling motion control, where you upload a video, you can be in your bathrobe as long as your face is visible and you have good lighting, you can talk and this and that. And that's how, if you go onto my Instagram, I made the devil thing. I was literally standing in my room talking, and then I converted it into a devil, and it's a funny thing, so you should watch it. That was Kling motion control. But the practical use is you upload a photo of you in a studio or in some nice place, with good lighting, and just upload that photo. Then later on in your car or wherever you are, as long as it's the similar framing, you can upload a video with your phone, a 1 minute, use a teleprompter app on your phone, upload it, and then use motion control to transmit and translate your movements from your video to your clone. Now, I've tried this and it's not super realistic. It sounds exactly like you because it uses the audio. So also you want to have a good mic, because crappy audio quality is not good. You want to spend the money to get a decent mic. You want to be in good lighting. You want to have a tripod. You want to have these very basic essentials. I can't follow every realtor around 24/7 to create the amount of content that is needed this day and age, And I can't even do it myself unless I have my phone. So you constantly have your phone with you, but if you want to put out quality content, market reports, all this other stuff, we've created a pipeline, again, that literally can summarize all of the market reports in your area. We hook it up to reputable sources. We can do the MLS or any kind of source that you like. They generate articles, Redfin, pull them every single week or monthly or whatever cadence you want, summarize them succinctly, create a 1 minute script based on the reading time of the material and your pace, and then you have this right in front of you, you read it, and then boom, you look into your phone, you talk about it, and then we can also pull photos and videos from press releases and different types of things. If it's a large development, for example, like there's a large development going on in Schaumburg, people want to know about it. They're going to Google that. So then you pop up as a local area expert, and you have all of this pipeline created for you. Now you can even create this using a software called HeyGen or Synthesia. And Synthesia and HeyGen, you can automate the full pipeline. You can automate your voice so it sounds very similar to you, and your clone. Like the best clone as far as looks, especially if you don't move around a lot, you just sit and talk like a talking head but kind of static, is HeyGen by far. Like I could not tell the difference between an AI clone and HeyGen when it's done properly and the real thing. That's how crazy it's getting. So you can automate it to where you literally don't even touch it. You're on vacation and it's posting stuff for you. And in my opinion, this is bad. Why is this bad? Because when people see this, they're going to think you're an expert at what you're talking about. And if they reach out to you after you get back from your vacation and they're like, hey, I saw that, they want to talk to you about selling their house or buying a house in a specific neighborhood, and they saw all these AI videos about all these things going on in the neighborhood and you have no clue, they're going to be like, who the hell was that? What? You don't know anything that's going on? Who's talking? Oh, it's AI. Oh, of course. So I recommend, if you use the AI route, that you read every single article that's going to be produced in the pipeline. At least read the summary, and then you will actually understand and know. And the whole point of the AI is not to replace you, but to make the process better. Because 3 roadblocks to content creation that I've identified are ideas, time, and money. And the ideas we already talked about, the time that it takes to create these talking heads, especially getting started, because it takes a while for things to pop up in Google. It can take months for things to be added to Google from their search bot, crawled. And so, you might not see return on investment for a long time. You might have to do this for 6 months or a year before you see any returns, any kind of activity. So if you're spending a couple hours curating the information, turning it into a talking point, and then getting yourself ready, filming it, like that's very difficult, and most people burn out and can't do it. So that's why the AI clone thing is good, but as long as you're reading the information and really understanding what's going on, so that way the clone is just there to replace you having to get ready in the studio and do all this stuff, and it looks professional. And a lot of people, like I said, they'll put stuff in the background and have the clone in a small little area. So even as long as it sounds like you, it has to sound like you, because I've heard some clones that sound totally different, and it's like, what the hell is it's really weird. And again, I think it really tarnishes your brand, you know. So that's one way you can do the talking head stuff. Now in my guide, I break down other strategies on what you can post. Like if you don't think you have post content and ideas and stuff, like listing videos, what to do for open houses, all that stuff, you're not taking the time to really think about it. But I have all these ideas to get you started, these seed ideas in the free guide. Make sure you reach out to me for that free guide, and I'll send it right over to you. But okay, so then the money thing. With this pipeline, you pay a one-time fee to me if you want me to come out, film you appropriate to HeyGen's tutorials, and then set up the whole automation. And then it's just like $50 a month for the automation software we recommend, which is make.com. I'll get into that more in a bit. HeyGen, 11 Labs, and the news curation, everything, like $50 a month. If you don't have $50 a month to spend on your brand, you need to get $50 a month. Stop buying so many Starbucks and devote it to that. You know, stop paying for a bloated CRM that you never even use and devote it to software that will actually help you. Cut off all of that garbage about the best pizza recipe and put it into this, because this is good. And you know, this is not gonna be a viable strategy in the future, because there's just so many people that will eventually use this. The lower the barrier to entry, now with AI, the lower the quality can become, and the larger the saturation. So you need to jump on this while you can, get indexed into Google, and just really capitalize on this opportunity ASAP. Another way you can do this for the talking heads is you can, if you have a home studio and you don't like AI, do it yourself. If you have the time, I recommend doing that way. Like that's why I record all of my videos, and I haven't really jumped down the AI rabbit hole yet with myself, because I have the time, I make the time, and I really like the quality of stuff that we produce. So that is all the AI stuff I want to talk about as far as the clones and everything, and the money thing. So when you think about, for example, you're sending out postcards, or you're doing some kind of advertisement, Google ads or whatever. If you've never spent money on ads, you won't really have an understanding of what I'm about to say. But postcards, we're gonna use postcards for an example. Postcards do work. We have clients send out postcards every single month, and they work. But the problem is, just like I mentioned earlier, the mirror effect. You have to hit people 10 to 12 times, and they have to be ready to buy or sell. So if you have a neighborhood of 1,000 people, and at any given time, only 7% turnover rate, so 70 people out of the 1,000 people are gonna be ready to buy or sell, then your postcards, 93% of them are gonna get tossed, most likely. People are not gonna hold on to them. If you're constantly seeing postcards come in from the same realtor, which in my neighborhood, I've only seen one realtor do this consistently all the years I've been there. But the big issue is it is super expensive. But I mean, she's doing it because the return on investment is there. Yes, you spend $10,000, $15,000 a year on postcards, but you sell one house in my neighborhood and that is covered. So, I mean, home prices are so high right now that you can cover a huge amount of that. But anyway, so for every door direct mail, that's like one of the cheapest ways you can send out postcards, especially if you print it and mail it yourself. But there's a lot of work. You have to bundle them. You have to take them to the office. Again, if you don't have a ton of leads, you've got time. You can do it. It's still, though, let's say 50 cents a postcard on average. I've seen a little lower, higher, but on average for every door direct mail, I think it's about 50 cents a postcard. For 1,000 people, that's going to be $500. Guess how much it costs on Instagram to run an ad to 1,000 people? $5 to $10. That is absolutely phenomenal. You can scale your brand with ads, $5 to $10 to reach 1,000 people. And this is not only used to reach new people in a localized area, and this is, again, why you want to focus on a local area, a small area. You don't want to spread yourself too thin, doing everything. You get lost. You're not as powerful and focused as you are if you just pick a specific area. So you have 1,000 people in that area, or let's say a neighborhood you run for 10,000 people, $50 to reach them one time. So that $500, now you've reached them 10 times. You hit them with an ad every single month. A certain percentage of those people will be in all these different stages, and a certain percentage of those people are going to be watching the videos a specific duration, your ads. Your ads, in order for ads to be most effective, you have to have a good ad strategy, which is just the same as having good content. All right? So for $50, you reach 10,000 people, or you reach 1,000 people 10 times, right? So then $500, you've got all the touches on them 10 times throughout a year. You can run an ad every single month. And what I was getting to with the video, so a certain amount of people will watch one of your video ads a certain duration, say 50% of the video. Those are good candidates for what are called retargeting ads. Then now your ad budget is going to be more focused on people who watch your video. 50%, they're more likely to watch another video from you, or doing a lead magnet or something like that. And that's another way you can move people through your funnel. And Instagram is constantly prioritizing content to keep people hooked, to keep them engaged and on the platform as long as possible so they can sell as much stuff as possible. This is like every social media algorithm. It's going to work like that. What that means is, say you have been trying really hard, you get all these followers, you've got 500 followers that you actually know in real life, and they're real followers, people you've met and networked. And again, don't wait on the algorithm. You need to, every single person you meet, like, hey, you follow me on Instagram? Here's my info. Oh, you don't have an Instagram? Here's my Facebook. Oh, you don't have Facebook? Here's my YouTube. You get what I'm saying? You need to not wait on the algorithm. You need to make it happen in real life. Add everyone you know. Anytime you go to a listing presentation, hey, they might not choose you initially, but then the other realtor might suck. And then you had them follow you on Instagram. They see all your great content. Maybe you blew the listing presentation for whatever reason, you were nervous, whatever. They see all your content on Instagram and they're like, hey, you know what? Let's fire our agent and go with this one. That happens as well. So with these ads, all those people that you tried very hard to curate, to get in front of, it's just like an email, like where you have an email drip campaign. All those people, there's going to be a certain amount of people who don't see the email. It's going to go to spam. There's going to be a certain percentage of people that will never see it on Instagram as well. You will be posting basically into the void. And the reason for this is multifactorial, like it's dependent on how many times you interact with the people on your Instagram, your followers, how many times they see something and they don't go right past it, how many times they interact and like, comment, share, all that stuff. Like they all factor in. And this is my opinion from what I've read. I don't know if this is fact, but it's like 10 to 20% of the people that follow you will see your content. And that sounds abysmal. That's like, I did all this work to get all these people and now only 10 to 20% are gonna see it. What about the other 80%? And that's where these retargeting ads come in. You can target people if you have something very important or you just wanna get in front of people every single month. I mean, so many people, there's a very small amount of Instagram accounts that have under 10,000 followers. So, or a very small number that have over, rather. So you most likely fall into that category of under 10,000 followers. You can run ads now to 10,000 people for $50 and get in front of them constantly. That's 10,000. If you've got 500 people on there or 1,000 people, $5. $5 a month to have your posts constantly show up to everybody who is active on your follower list. That's huge. That's how you stay in front of them. All right. So we talked about content strategy, how you get it, using Google, using your favorite AI models to create the seed ideas. And you want to structure your content as what I've said in another post. It's called the elevator pitch framework. So basically, people are very limited on time. They're on TikTok because they don't want to watch a whole lecture like this on YouTube. They want to just get information quick and move on with their day and scroll on and look for, the funny cat videos. So you structure as an elevator pitch, which basically means like you're on an elevator and it's very quick and you have only a few seconds to demonstrate your value. So you start with a problem, you answer that problem, and then you give a call to action. It can be something as simple as any of the subjects that you researched. That's your posting strategy. We've talked about the AI clones. We've talked about how to save time and how affordable it really is to use ads. And do not wait on the algorithm. And another last thing I want to talk about in terms of the algorithm is don't be the realtor who chases virality only. Like you can do a couple viral posts and a couple viral things and those posts go viral because they have a structure that people like. It's a hook. It gets them to view past 3 seconds, which is what Instagram attributes to a good video. Like if you're passing 3 seconds, they have a statistic in the back. That's why you need your professional dashboard to see this, the skip rate. And if people skip your video, it's because they did not watch it at least 3 seconds. So that's why that 3-second hook, that's where that comes from. So, but if you're gonna be the agent that posts only for vanity metrics, for virality, or you think you wanna do it that way because that's how you get leads, well, I just don't think it is the best strategy. And there's so many viral videos that once the first person that thought about it does it, it goes viral, and then now you see just a whole sea of people doing it. And I mean, if you're constantly jumping on viral stuff, the return on investment and on time, I just don't think is there. And if you look at other realtors who are successful in real estate in real life and successful on Instagram, I'm in Illinois, so Carrie McCormick, Matt Laracy, those two are very successful in both Instagram and in real life. So I'm sure there's a couple others. Shannon Gillette in Arizona, very successful. If you look at what they post, they're posting stuff consistent with their brand and with what will help out their target audience. That's it. Sometimes they'll jump on some viral things, but I've never seen Carrie McCormick do it. Like she's luxury brand. If she wants to show that she's a dog lover, she'll have her dog in her Ferrari. Okay, so she's targeting people that want to live that luxury lifestyle. She's constantly dressed, very nice clothes. She walks through the property, like everything is there and appropriate to luxury buyers who she's trying to attract. She's not jumping on the screen to make it go down or any of the viral stuff that you see and you've seen a million times, okay? So something that is in line with your brand, don't chase the algorithm and virality. That's my opinion. And another thing, there's a huge viral trend for women who are realtors to use sex appeal. Men do it too, but like ask yourself at the end of the day, do you want to jump around on a camera and attract weirdos, or do you want to attract clients? At the end of the day, it's all about like who you're going to attract. Okay, so just keep that in mind, especially all the young female agents that go on there. Like if you're trying to follow these other influencers who are doing this crap, you're going to get a bunch of weirdos. Most likely. You're not going to get people who want to follow you and who want to buy and sell real estate with you. They're going to ask you out to dates and all this weird stuff. So I would avoid that. That's personally my opinion, but do what you want. So moving on, the algorithm is something I wouldn't wait on. Like I said, you want to be networking and constantly building your brand, and Instagram is one tiny cog in the business machine. All right. The whole point of using Instagram is to generate leads, to build your brand, and AI searches and Google searches highly value brand. They highly value when you are constantly being mentioned across the web. That's like the new backlinks, which backlinks are just other people's websites that have linked to your website. If you don't have a website, I build websites as well, so talk to me about that. We can create your whole content strategy, your whole identity, your brand, everything. All you have to do is contact us, DM me on Instagram, follow me on YouTube, comment, whatever, get a hold of me, and I can help you build your brand from the ground up, all right? If you follow this stuff and you wanna build it yourself, you can take everything I just said and do it yourself, okay? So whatever way you wanna be building your brand, constantly posting. And like I was alluding to earlier, Instagram is one small cog in the business machine. I do not post just on Instagram. I have an automation that also I can set up for you. It posts to every social media platform that I have. It writes posts for LinkedIn, Google Business Profile, everything. And the reason is because AI polls based on brand. If you want to ask, hey, who's the best realtor near me? It's going to search for all of these things. It's not just going to search Instagram. It's not just going to search Google. It's going to search everywhere. And if it's constantly seeing content made from you and your brand, then it's going to be choosing you. So with that said, I think I've spoken about everything I wanted to talk about in this lecture, and I hope you're super excited about this, because when you're excited, your brain actually encodes information more strongly. It allows you to retain it and recall it when necessary, and just to be automatic with the information. So when you go to a listing presentation, you can tell them exactly what they want to hear. So I hope you were excited about this, and if not, drink caffeine and then rewatch this. And I hope you have an awesome day. Reach out to me. Again, my name is Jordan Dubois, co-founder of Reflecting Walls Real Estate Photography, and we serve Arizona agents and Illinois agents, but also nationwide with these digital business cards and automations. And I am a super nerd for this stuff. I love talking about it. And with that said, I hope you have a fantastic day. Take care. Damn, I hope my phone's still on.